1945, Japan was in ruins. Entire cities had been destroyed. Industry had collapsed. The economy was shattered. After the devastation of World War II, few would have imagined that this country would one day become one of the most powerful economies on Earth. But within just a few decades, something extraordinary happened. Japan did not just recover, it transformed. And the world would call it the Japanese economic miracle. After Japan's surrender in World War II, the country faced massive infrastructure destruction, food shortages, unemployment, and inflation. Under the Allied occupation led by the United States, Japan began rebuilding from scratch. Japan had no choice but to redesign its entire economic system. Factories had to be rebuilt, industries had to be restarted, and trust in the global economy had to be regained. But the foundation of transformation was about to be laid. One of the most important changes was economic restructuring. Instead of focusing on military power, Japan redirected its energy toward manufacturing, technology, and exports. The goal was simple: become competitive globally through industry. The government played a major role. Institutions helped coordinate industrial policy. Companies were encouraged to innovate, and a culture of discipline and efficiency began to emerge. During the 1950s and 1960s, Japanese companies began expanding rapidly. Manufacturing quality improved significantly. Industries like automobiles, electronics, steel, and shipbuilding became global competitors. Companies focused on precision, reliability, and continuous improvement. This philosophy became known as Kaizen, continuous improvement over time. Small improvements accumulated into massive gains. Japan's economy began shifting toward exports. Products made in Japan started entering global markets. At first, they were seen as cheap alternatives, but over time, that perception changed. Japanese products became known for durability, precision engineering, and innovation. The world began buying more and more Japanese goods, and foreign currency flowing into Japan fueled further growth. By the 1970s and 1980s, Japan had become a global leader in several industries. Automotive companies like Toyota, Honda, and Nissan began dominating international markets. At the same time, electronics companies revolutionized consumer technology with televisions, cameras, audio systems, and early computing devices. Japan was not just catching up anymore, it was leading in multiple sectors. Japan's economic rise was not just about policy or industry, it was also cultural. Key values included discipline, long-term thinking, collective responsibility, and perfectionism in craftsmanship. Work culture emphasized loyalty to companies, continuous skill development, and precision in execution. This created a workforce capable of sustaining long-term industrial growth, but it also came with intense pressure and expectations. By the late 1980s, Japan had become one of the richest economies in the world. Asset prices skyrocketed. Real estate in major cities reached extreme valuations. Stock markets surged. Japan appeared unstoppable. At one point, some estimates suggested that Tokyo land values alone rivaled entire countries. But behind this rapid expansion, imbalances were building. In the early 1990s, the asset bubble collapsed. Stock markets fell sharply. Real estate prices crashed. Banks struggled with bad loans. This period became known as the lost decade. Economic growth slowed significantly. Confidence declined, and Japan entered a long period of stagnation. Despite economic stagnation, Japan remains one of the world's most advanced economies. It continues to lead in robotics, automotive innovation, electronics, high-speed transportation, and precision manufacturing. Its companies are still globally respected, and its cultural influence remains enormous, because even after the bubble, the industrial foundation remained strong. The story of Japan's rise is one of the most remarkable transformations in modern history, from total destruction to global economic power. It shows that rebuilding is possible even from absolute collapse. It shows that discipline and strategy can transform nations. And it shows that long-term thinking can reshape entire economies. But it also shows something else. Even the strongest economies are not immune to cycles. Rise, peak, correction, and reinvention. Japan did not just become a superpower once. It proved that survival itself is a long-term process of adaptation.